Hey there everybody, Mazarok here, and today we're talking 10.2 Protection Warrior tier set bonus. We're going to be talking about, well, is it fun? Does it change, how does it change the gameplay? How good can it be? Things like that. But again, disclaimer when it comes to things like this in 10.2 PTR, things are subject to change. So what we're going to be looking at is the core gameplay, what the tier set is, what it does, how it can change things. We're not going to be talking about this is going to make it the next meta tank. But how does this affect Prot Warrior as it kind of sits going in from 10.1 to 10.2? So first things first, what is the tier set, right? The 2-piece Spending Rage has a chance to cause your next Shield Slam to consume your bleeds on a target, instantly dealing 100% of the remaining damage and reducing the damage dealt to you by 10% for 5 seconds. 4-piece. When your bleeds are consumed on a target, their damage dealt to you is reduced by an additional 2% per bleed consumed. The cooldown of Thunderclap is reset, and the cooldown of Thunderous Roar is reduced by 1 second. All right, so what are your bleeds as a Prot Warrior, right? You have Rend, Deep Wound, and Thunderous Roar. Those are the 3 that you have. So, most of the time, you're going to be taking off Rend and Deep Wounds, and this is going to be the main form of interaction with this, and you're going to be reapplying it with Thunderclap, which is going to get reset. So you look at this tier set and you're like, okay, this is going to be great for single target, but what does it do for my AoE? Well, Thunderous Roar is being reduced by 1 second per. Right now, it's a 1.5 minute cooldown, but if you take Uproar, it reduces it down to 1 minute. And in the testing, this actually did bring it down to around a 45-second cooldown. And Thunderous Roar does a lot of damage in AoE. It is a really good button to press, so that really does help our AoE profile in that regard there. And it also does single target priority damage. When I was, playing this, if I wanted a specific target to die the fastest, it died the fastest. Number one, Shield Slam does a lot of single target damage, but the 100% Rend and Deep Wound damage done in a single global when you combine that with Shield Slam is a very nice chunk of damage. And then you immediately reapply it with a Thunderclap and you are off to the races again. And this actually does reapply itself a lot. So coming in from 10.1, where we have the AoE Last Stand is an offensive. Once it ends, it does the Shield Slam AoE. This is going to be a Shield Slam priority focus damage while helping our AoE profile through the cooldown of Thunderous Roar. But not only that, Booming Voice and Demo Shout. Because we are getting so many Thunderclap resets, this is bringing down the cooldown of Demo Shout significantly. I even got it down to 16, 17 seconds. I'm trying to remember, somewhere around there. But most of the time, it became a 21 to 22 second cooldown, which is incredibly strong because that amplifies our damage by 20% when we apply that. But that also applies our AoE defensiveness, right? Because being able to apply Demo Shout to multiple targets is really, really strong. But for this to happen, you need a minimum of 3 targets because of the Thunderlord interaction, right? It will reduce the cooldown by 4.5 seconds every time you get a Thunderclap. And there definitely are some moments where it was Shield Slam, Thunderclap, Shield Slam, Thunderclap, Shield Slam, Thunderclap. And then all of a sudden, in 6 globals, you pretty much have 12, 13 seconds reduced off Demo Shout in 6 globals, and that's a pretty fast. It does require some RNG, but there is a lot of synergies to be had here, which is really, really exciting. So as we're coming into this new tier set, I'm a lot more excited for this one because it changes the talents up a bit. It makes some talents a lot more worthwhile taking, like Bloodborne, right? I am actually looking at removing Ravager in favor of putting more points into Bloodborne. I'm currently playing Punish due to the strength of Shield Slam in AoE and all of that in current live, and it does a lot of damage, but Punish might not be as required because you're getting the basic thing out of that tier set, right? When you do remove the bleeds off of that mob that you hit with Shield Slam, you're getting a 10% DR, 14% with the 2 set, which is more than the Punish stacks anyway. But if you really are looking for that single target, Punish is going to be able to consistently give you that 20+% DR to a target, which is going to be incredibly strong in single target and really, really good for tyrannical weeks if you are deciding to run punish. But being able to up the bleed damage that you are just sucking away. Now, number one, having more bleed, rend, and deep wound damages on all of your targets is incredibly strong. But with the talent choices that we kind of had and how rigid the Prot Warrior tree can be at times, it was very, very difficult to take Bloodborne. But now we're seeing a lot of synergies, and being able to bring Thunderous Roar down to a 45-second cooldown might start pushing the edge on... I'm starting to think Bloodborne is really, really worth it here, while leaving it as a flex option if you are looking for more, defensive talents or utility talents, such as, while grabbing Disrupting Shout, which you can be utilizing as, as you want or as you see fit. I know a lot of people that take it in every single dungeon. I tend to rely a little bit more on Shockwave, and I don't need the Taunt All Silence, but in some dungeons, I absolutely do take it, but that's a dungeon-by-dungeon basis. And this just allows for a little bit more flex, a little bit more damage, and I think is really going to allow Prot Warrior to pump. I think people are sleeping on this tier set because the synergies are there, but they're not seeing them yet. And with a couple of talent shuffles, like I opted out of Unstoppable Force. Yes, I lost some Thunderclap damage during Avatar, but the 50% damage reduction was not needed. I'm getting more than enough Thunderclap resets consistently and constantly that portion of Unstoppable Force just wasn't needed. And Shockwave damage is so pitiful that increasing the Shockwave damage during Avatar is just like, whatever, who cares? So here we have single target. We're getting a built-in punish, so you don't actually need to take the talent if you don't want to, but if you take the talent, there is a stacking option there. We're having a much lower cooldown on Thunderous Roar to help our AoE capabilities and our AoE, as well as Demo Shout, which is going to help us both offensively and defensively. And it is a lot of fun to play with, and I think it actually raises the skill ceiling of Prot Warrior a little bit more. By the way, it does increase the APM, action per minute, for Prot Warrior for sure, because you're with the shield, Thunderclap resets, you are constantly on guard for, okay, this happened, bang, 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 and you have to be planning your next moves and going really, really fast in a reactive style gameplay on a proactive tank, which I think is really fun, because Prot Warrior has always been very proactive. You need to know when things are coming to be able to use your abilities. Now, unfortunately, in the PTR, whenever I hit shield slam, shield wall, sorry, my game just crashes, so I've had to do all of this without shield wall, which really wasn't needed to begin with. But I wasn't really trying to test this for power level. I was just testing this to see what it was like. Is this fun? And my goodness, is this fun. I love this tier set, and I can't wait to play it more and more. And this is one that I tested early on. I tested again today, and then when I was done my testing, I went back and played it some more because it is an incredible amount of fun. Now, I am a Prot Warrior enjoyer. That is the spec that I love the most in the game, right? It's my jam. And this takes it and makes it so much fun. This is a very bleed-centric build, a very bleed-centric version of Protection Warrior that I am absolutely excited to play with. So yeah, that's what I have for you today. Like, comment, subscribe if you want more 10.2 PTR testing. I'm doing all of the tanks. I'm recording a bunch of them right now. They're going to be coming out over the next couple of days, and check that out. My patrons are going to be getting written access for this and exclusive and early access as well as I record, edit, and throw up. They're going to be going on Patreon first for the large chunk. So thank you very much for watching. Everyone, have yourself a good one. Happy tanking. Bye.